Have you ever noticed how he starts to need your presence more than he ever expected? How your absence feels louder than any argument, and your silence carries more weight than his words? It starts slow. Maybe he's checking his phone more when you're quiet. Maybe he finds himself comparing every moment without you to the peace he felt when you were near. And without even realizing it, he becomes tied to something deeper: your energy, your calm, your voice, your essence. That's not magic. That's the power of a woman who knows herself. They say emotional dependence is weakness. But no, when it's rooted in respect, when it's tied to love, it becomes gravity. And queens, you don't pull with force, you pull with presence. When a man begins to feel safe in your silence, when he misses your energy more than your body, that's when he's already hooked, emotionally, deeply, silently. Seneca once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." But the irony, when a man meets a woman who brings him peace, he willingly lets go of that control. He doesn't lose his strength, he surrenders to something stronger. And that stronger thing is the emotional bond he builds with you. Think of it like this. Imagine a garden in the middle of a desert. It's rare, it's unexpected, but once he finds it, he keeps coming back because the world outside is too loud, too empty, too dry. But you're the oasis. You don't chase, you don't cling, you just grow, you just glow, you just give. And that quiet consistency, that's what makes him stay. That's what makes him depend on you in ways he can't explain. Not because you're trying to prove something, but because you're not trying at all. You're just being. And this is where it shifts, because you are not just the woman he loves. You become the woman he leans on. You become the place he finds himself. And once that happens, it's not your words that bind him. It's your energy. It's the way you listen without fixing, speak without forcing, love without losing yourself. That's what makes you unforgettable. This isn't about manipulation. This is about magnetism. It's not about playing games. It's about being the woman who refuses to shrink for any man, and in doing so becomes the one he can't stop thinking about. And if you're reading this, if you're starting to feel that shift inside, the calm, the confidence, the quiet knowing, then let me tell you this gently. You are stepping into something greater. You are not just a woman. You are a queen. And the moment you embrace that, he will feel it. He may not say it out loud, but deep down, he will know. He depends on you, because he's never met anyone like you before. If these words touched something deep in your heart, if you felt seen, understood, or even just a little stronger, then show some love back, Queen. Like this video and subscribe to the channel, because we are working day and night to bring you the truth, the healing, and the fire you need to rise. Every message, every lesson, every word is crafted with you in mind, because your journey matters and you deserve to walk it with power. Number 1. He starts needing the peace only you provide. Have you ever noticed how his world starts to feel colder when you pull away? Not because you argued, not because you left in anger, but simply because your presence is no longer filling up the space. That's when it begins. That's when he realizes he's not just missing a person, he's missing peace. The kind of peace he never knew he needed until it wasn't there anymore. And what he once took for granted becomes the very thing he now craves the most. Not noise, not drama, just you. The way you speak softly when everything else is loud. The way you make even silence feel safe. This is how it starts, queens. Emotional dependence doesn't come from chaos. It comes from consistency. It comes from the woman who shows up calm, steady, clear, even when everything around him is falling apart. He starts to depend on your energy because with you, he doesn't have to pretend. He doesn't have to win or perform or compete. He just is, and you still see him. You still choose him. That's what binds him. A wise quote says, "A man becomes attached not to the loudest voice in the room, but to the quietest soul who understands his silence." That's you. You don't fight to be heard, you just understand. And when he walks away from that, he may find louder, but he'll never find deeper. Imagine his life like a stormy sea. He's surrounded by waves, stress, pressure, expectations. But then there's you, the lighthouse. You don't chase his ship, you just shine. And when he loses sight of you, he realizes he's lost direction. You were the calm in his chaos, and now that you're not around, he's drifting. That's emotional dependence. It's not obsession, it's not control. It's the invisible pull of comfort that only your presence gave. But let's be clear, this isn't about shrinking yourself to soothe him. This is about rising into your true self so boldly, so unapologetically, that he learns peace was never a place. It was a woman. A woman who didn't beg to be needed. A woman who didn't lower her standards just to stay close. A woman who became the very thing he couldn't live without. And that woman, dear Queen, is you. You didn't try to be his home, you became it. You didn't ask him to depend on you. He did that on his own, because your presence felt like relief. And now, as you rise, remember this. He's not chasing love. He's chasing the peace only you ever gave. Repeat this in the comments, queens, and claim your truth. I am his peace, not his possession. Let this world know you are not just a lover. You are the calm after his storm. And if this message reminded you of who you are, like this video and subscribe to the channel. We are working day and night to create real, life-changing lessons for women like you, because queens don't beg to be seen. They rise, and the world watches. Number 2. He becomes addicted to the way you see him. Have you ever wondered why he keeps coming back? Not just for your touch, not just for your words, but for the way you see him. It's not about your smile or your beauty. It's the reflection he finds in your eyes. The way you look at him without judgment, the way you listen without trying to fix him, the way you remind him, without saying a word, that he's more than the man the world told him to be. That's what gets him hooked. That's what starts the storm inside him. And once he feels that, he becomes addicted to it, addicted to you. Most people crave attention, but a man who finds emotional safety in your presence, he craves connection. And that connection begins with how you make him feel seen. Not the mask he wears for the world, not the man he pretends to be, but the boy who still wonders if he's enough. You saw that boy. You loved that man. You didn't push. You didn't chase. You simply became the one place where he could finally breathe. And that kind of peace is rare. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Look well into thyself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up, if thou wilt always look." But sometimes, a man needs someone to mirror that strength back to him. And you became that mirror, not by force but by presence, not by control but by grace. Imagine a lighthouse standing still through the storms. It doesn't run after the ships. It just stands tall, shines bright, and helps the lost find their way. That's what you became in his life, a quiet, steady force. And now, when he's with her and still feels empty, when he laughs but still feels distant, when he looks happy but his heart stays restless, it's because you are the one who made him feel seen. This is where your power lives, Queen, in the way you show up fully without losing yourself, in the way you love with depth but never desperation, in the way you see his soul but never abandon your own. And that's why he can't let you go. He didn't just lose a woman, he lost the only mirror that made him feel whole. Beautiful woman, write this in the comments and claim it. He can't unsee the way I saw him. Let the world know that your gaze, your presence, your love left an imprint no one can erase. We are here, working hard to bring you truth that heals and lessons that reignite your power. You are not just here to be loved. You are here to redefine what love feels like. Number 3. Your silence starts speaking louder than his words. Have you ever noticed how silence can make more noise than shouting ever could? It's strange. He used to brush off your words, ignore your concerns, pretend not to hear what you were really saying. But now it's the quiet that haunts him. He scrolls through his phone and sees no missed calls from you. He opens his messages and finds nothing waiting. That silence? It's not empty. It's loaded. It echoes through every space where your presence used to bring peace. And he feels it, deeply, silently, regretfully. He thought you'd always be there, that your love was a given, that you'd keep explaining, keep reaching, keep proving. But you didn't. You stopped. And the moment your voice went quiet, his thoughts got loud. Loud with doubt, loud with guilt, loud with memories. Because silence, when used by a woman who once gave everything, becomes the loudest sound a man can hear. As Marcus Aurelius said, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. And now, his thoughts are soaked in what he lost. Your calm became his comfort. Your attention was his escape. But when that disappeared, he realized what he ignored was the very thing holding him together. And now, the silence you've left behind is louder than any goodbye you could have spoken. Think of it like this. A radio station that used to play his favorite song suddenly goes static. He tries to tune in, twist the knob, turn the volume up. But all he hears is the hum of emptiness. That's your silence now. And the more he listens for it, the more it reminds him of what he let go. Because this isn't about disappearing to hurt him. It's about detaching to heal yourself. It's about becoming the kind of woman who no longer needs to explain her worth. And when you stop explaining, you start rising, slowly, powerfully, unapologetically. And once that happens, he knows he's lost you, not with a bang, but with the kind of silence that never answers again. And now, it's time to speak with your presence, not your voice. It's time to show up for yourself in a way you never did for him. He chose to ignore the sound of your love. Now he's left with the silence of your absence. So, beautiful lady, write this in the comments and claim it. My silence speaks louder than his words. Let the world know you're done repeating yourself, done waiting to be heard, done being overlooked. Because you are no longer here to convince, you are here to reign. We're working hard to bring you life-changing lessons that remind you who you are, what you carry, and why no man can ever silence your worth again. Number 4, he remembers the way you loved him, not the way she does. Have you ever wondered why he keeps looking back, even after he thought he had moved on? Why her touch doesn't calm him the way yours did? Why her voice doesn't reach the part of him that once felt safe with you? It's because emotional dependence isn't built on surface moments. It's built on depth. And you, without even trying, gave him something real, something rooted, something unforgettable. Now he's with her, but his heart is still chasing the way you loved him. Because the truth is, he doesn't miss you. He misses the way he felt when he was with you. You loved him with patience. You listened when he had no words. You stood by him when he wasn't at his best. And that kind of love, it doesn't fade. It imprints. It stays. She might be new, exciting, full of smiles. But when the noise fades and the silence starts to speak, he hears echoes of you. You became his safe space, his calm in the chaos. That kind of emotional connection doesn't vanish just because he tries to replace it. He remembers how you made him feel like a man without shrinking as a woman. That's rare. As the philosopher Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. And you didn't crumble, you didn't chase. You didn't fight for a place you already earned. You walked away with grace. And now he sits with the memory of that walk, strong, silent, unforgettable. Think of a melody that only plays once in a lifetime. It haunts the ears because nothing else sounds quite like it. That's what you were to him, not loud, not desperate, just real. She may sing, but she won't be music to him, because you already were. You see, you never needed to beg. You never needed to compete. Because queens don't compete. They reign. And once a man has felt the power of a woman who loves with grace and walks away with dignity, no other woman feels quite enough. Not because she isn't trying, but because she simply isn't you. So hear this, beautiful queen. You were the light in his darkest days, the peace in his storm, the love that asked for nothing but gave everything. Let that truth set you free. He may be with her, but he will never forget you. Write this in the comments and claim it. He remembers my love because it was real. Let the world know your love wasn't ordinary. It was the kind that lingers. And if this message opened your eyes or reminded you of who you are, like this video and subscribe to the channel. We're here creating powerful, life-changing lessons for women like you, because your love deserves to be honored and your story deserves to be told. Number 5. You become the standard, and no one else measures up. He didn't realize it at first. He thought you were just a moment, a phase, something good, but not something unforgettable. But now every time he looks at her, talks to her, even holds her hand, he's not really present. Because in the back of his mind, there's a comparison he can't stop making. You became the standard. You became the measurement his heart keeps reaching for, and nothing else ever quite fits. Have you ever been to a place so beautiful, so peaceful, so full of magic that every other place after it felt dull? That's what you did to his emotions. You didn't just love him, you elevated him. And now he's emotionally trapped in memories he can't recreate with anyone else. He touches her hand, but he remembers yours. He hears her voice, but it doesn't calm him like yours did. He laughs, but the joy is shallow, because deep down he knows she's not you. The rarest kind of woman is the one who leaves a man better, even in her absence. And queen, that's who you are. You didn't chase, you didn't compete, you simply were. And in being so powerfully you set the bar so high that no one else will ever feel right to him again. He will keep searching for your energy in rooms that have never known your light. He will keep reaching for your love in arms that were never shaped to hold it. Picture this. A man drinks from a crystal-clear spring, fresh, clean, life-giving. But then he walks away and tries to quench his thirst in muddy water. He might try to convince himself it's enough. But his soul knows better. His soul remembers the difference. That spring, that was you. And now that he walked away, he realizes no one else makes him feel full. He doesn't say it aloud, but it lives in his silence. It's in the way he lingers on your photos. It's in the way he stares too long at his screen, wishing he had done things differently. But you've already risen. You're not just the woman he remembers. You are the woman he can never replace. Because you didn't beg to be seen. You made yourself unforgettable. You didn't chase love. You became the one it revolves around. And now he's left watching, knowing he lost what no one else will ever be. Write this in the comments, queens, and claim it. I am the standard, she can't compete. Let the world know you are done questioning, done shrinking, done waiting. We're working every day to bring you truth, strength, and the healing you deserve. Because your reign, it doesn't start later, it starts now. Number 6, he craves your energy more than your body. Have you ever wondered why he keeps coming back, even when the conversation was short? even when you said nothing special, even when you weren't trying to impress him. It's because there's something about you that he can't explain, can't label, can't forget. He craves your energy, not your body, not your looks, not just your attention. He craves the calm you carry, the way your presence softens his chaos, the way your silence feels like peace and your words feel like warmth. He may not say it out loud, but deep down he knows. He is drawn to your energy like breath to life. A man can touch many, but not all leave a mark. And you are unforgettable. You didn't chase, you didn't beg, you just were. And that's what makes the difference. That's what sparks his emotional dependence, because he can't replace the way you made him feel safe without needing to speak, the way you loved without losing your edge, the way you could sit in silence and it still felt like the most powerful conversation. There's a quote that says, "People will forget what you said, they'll forget what you did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel." And Queen, you made him feel seen, not judged, not owned, seen. That's what pulls him back. That's what keeps you living in his thoughts, even when he tries to move on. He may find someone who checks boxes, but she won't light him up the way you did, because a man doesn't fall in love with perfection. He falls in love with peace, with presence, with power that doesn't scream, but simply is. Think of it like this. Imagine walking into a room filled with noise, bright lights, empty laughter. And then, in one quiet corner, there's you. No performance, no show, just steady, soft, powerful energy. He drifts toward you like a moth to flame, not because you burn, but because you glow. You don't demand his love, you become the place where his heart finally rests. That is emotional dependence. That is power. That is you. You're not just the girl he dated. You are the pulse he didn't know he needed, the rhythm his soul now recognizes. And Queens, this is where you rise, not by chasing him, but by staying rooted in yourself. Because the moment you stop trying to be enough and start realizing you already are, is the moment he feels the shift. And that shift, it changes everything. So write this in the comments and claim it. He craves my energy, not just my presence. Let this be the day you stop shrinking and start glowing louder than ever before. We are working hard to bring you the truth, the power, and the reminders that you were never meant to be forgotten. You were meant to be unforgettable. Number 7. You loved him without losing yourself, and that's what scares him most. Have you ever seen the look in his eyes when he realizes you're no longer waiting for his attention, yet you still hold all of his? That's not just love, that's emotional gravity. You gave him your heart without losing your mind. You stood beside him, not beneath him. You stayed whole while loving him deeply. And now, that balance scares him more than he'll ever admit. Because he didn't expect you to stay powerful while being soft. He thought love would weaken you, but instead, it made you even stronger. And that strength, that's what keeps him up at night. When a man meets a woman who can love with her full heart, yet never forget who she is, he starts to feel something he can't explain. A pull, a bond, a connection deeper than attraction. That's emotional dependence. You didn't chain him, you didn't chase him. You simply became the space where he could be seen, heard, and still not be needed to complete you. That's rare, that's powerful, and that's why he's still thinking about you. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." And that's exactly what you showed him. You never needed to beg for attention. You never had to fight to be chosen. You became the one he remembers because you gave him love, without needing his to feel whole. You stayed grounded. You loved from a place of abundance, not desperation. Imagine a lighthouse in the middle of a storm. It doesn't chase the ships. It doesn't move to prove its worth. It stays where it is, strong, unwavering, radiant. And yet, every lost ship finds its way back to it. That's you. You were never afraid of being alone, and he could feel that. You gave him light, but never begged him to stay. And now, that memory haunts him, because he knows he may find another woman, but he will never find another you. Beautiful lady, this is your power. He expected you to break, but you rose. He thought he could walk away, but your strength followed him everywhere. You didn't just love him, you elevated him. And now, your absence feels heavier than your presence ever did, because you were never his weakness. You were his mirror, his calm, his lesson. Write this in the comments and claim it, queens. I loved him, but I never lost myself. Let him feel that truth echo through every part of his being. And if this message reminded you of the fire inside you, then like this video and subscribe to the channel. We are working hard to bring you life-changing lessons, because you were never meant to be forgotten. You were meant to reign.